happy games. Hello everybody. I got some fun new stuff to share with you this week. I got some video footage I'm going to share with you, but I want to tell you about what happened first, and then we'll get to what I recorded. We had a pretty interesting weekend around here. On Saturday night, well, I guess it was probably early Sunday morning. Jack, you're so cute. I've totally lost my train of thought now. Okay, so it was the wee hours of Sunday morning. I've got some really interesting audio that I recorded at the cabin that I'm going to play for you, but I'm going to explain what happened first, and then we'll get to that. So, I'm sitting in the cabin. It's really late. I'm watching TV, and I start hearing the howls outside. So, knowing that if I was to go outside and try and record the minute I open the door, everything's going to stop, I just stuck the recorder up to the where the window was open just a little bit and recorded that way. The creek was outside, and I knew that might wash out some of the sound, but you know, the water's a little lower now, so I thought it might work, and it did. It worked pretty good. So anyway, I heard these vocals outside, recorded it, listened for a few minutes, and then I got back in bed, and I sat there listening, and I could hear some rock clacking in the creek outside, and I could hear what sounded like owl-type calls that were farther away, and I could hear the original type calls, the kind of quick one-note calls that I was hearing right outside. They were also moving farther away. So I thought, well, you know, I'm going to get up, go out for a little walk and see what's going on. Maybe I can listen from outside a little better. So I got outside, and I realized the owl-type calls that I was hearing were coming from more off in this direction, back that way. And the calls that were by the cabin were much closer, but they were moving up the creek, up into this area, up this way. And, oh, Jack has himself a stick. So, anyway, I stood on the road, and I recorded, and I listened for a few minutes, and they were just getting farther and farther out into the woods. So I thought, you know, I can just go up the trail a little bit, get a little closer, and listen a little better. So I had brought out my little flashlight. I turned it on just the dim green and shined it just on the ground, just so I could see to walk up the trail. No intrusion. I felt like, anyway. I was trying not to be intrusive. But the minute that I stepped off the pavement and started up the trail, everything went quiet. So I walked up just a little ways, maybe 100 feet, and I stood and I listened, and you two are cracking me up. So I got up the trail, and I stood there and I listened for a few minutes and realized they were done. They were no longer going to do anything, mostly because I was out there. And, well, you know, that's one of the things about owls. They don't shut up just because you're there. So anyway, I excused myself. I said, you know, that I was sorry for intruding and that I just couldn't resist because their calls are just so intriguing and beautiful that I just couldn't help myself. I had to come out, and I turned around and I went back to the cabin. You two are just nuts. Okay, so anyway, I'm hoping I'm making this clear. It's hard to think straight when I'm watching these guys. So anyway, the next morning, oh, you two are just cracking me up. How's Mom going to tell her story when you're cracking me up? Okay, so anyway, the next morning was Mother's Day. I got up and brought the kids up the trail, get their exercise in, and we hadn't gone very far, and I started noticing some interesting possible glyphs on the ground. Oop, I think maybe she's going to lay there with her stick now. So anyway, we noticed these interesting glyphs on the ground, and I made note of one, too, and then I got to another one that just totally blew me away, and I'll show you that footage, too. And so after that, we continued on up here, and I got up to about this spot, and being Mother's Day, not knowing if Mama Bigfoot was here or not, I hollered out to her Happy Mother's Day, and I explained that this was a day that we celebrate our mothers, and I was wishing a Happy Mother's Day to her too. And just within a second of having said that, the most beautiful floral fragrance washed across my face, and it was warm and wonderful, and it was such a surprise because, you know, you see the forget-me-nots here, but they really don't have any kind of scent at all, and there really aren't any other flowers out here anywhere. And this, the closest thing that I could describe this as was almost like a heavy honeysuckle, and it was wonderful, and it was there. I breathed it in, and then it was gone. And I walked back and forth on this little stretch of trail several times trying to pick up that scent again, but it was just nowhere to be found. And since then, we've been up here a couple of times since then, the last few days, and there's been 2 more occasions where that smell has just washed across my face and then gone, which I think is really interesting considering, you know, when we've had the bad stink, like when we had it up on the 75 road last summer during one of our campouts. That was like the oldest sewer there was, but it was there and then it was gone. It wasn't like something that was lingering in the air. It was just like on and off. And that's the way this was, except it was just as bad as the sewer smell was. This was just beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play you the recordings from that night. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't have smell-o-vision, so you don't get to experience that wonderful aroma that I smelled, but I'm pretty sure that was Mom acknowledging my wishes for her to have a nice Mother's Day. So anyway, we're going to finish our little walk up the trail here, and y'all have a good week. Okay, it's 2:18 in the morning, and there was just a series of loud calls right outside the cabin. I put the camera in the window. The creek's outside, so it kind of washed it out a little bit, but I recorded some of them. And I got back in bed, and the window was still cracked open, and I just heard a clack outside in the creek. I can hear in the distance what sounds like an owl, and I suspect that somebody just up the creek was maybe howling back or responding back to the owl sound. Whether the owl is real or not, I don't know, but I think what I heard outside was a response to the more distant owl sound that I can hear out there. Okay, maybe we should go for a little walk. Okay, so last night out here in the creek, I heard the really loud vocalizations. I recorded some through the window, and then when I came out here, I heard a few more farther back up in here, but when I came up the trail, I turned the flashlight on, just the green light, and aimed it at the ground, but still, as soon as I did that, all the sound stopped. So I thanked them and excused myself and went back to the cabin. So here it is the next morning, and we're out for our walk. And the first thing, I've been walking up here looking at the different things on the ground, and I'm thinking, well, could be, that's interesting. And then I get to this, and it's like, okay, this is something here. This is just not natural. Look at the layers here. This is just amazing. It's so many layers. I mean, you've got this one with that on top of it. This is on the top of that one. This one is on top of that one. That one's on top of this one. This one's on top of that one. I mean, and the cone and the little ones, it's perfect. And there's also this chunk here that the little feller's chewing on. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but this one here is just so perfect. There's only a few good sticks, and Gabby has them all. Oh, happy dogs. Does he want my stick? Silly little Jackie boy. Little proper Jack. Yeah, he's silly. He's silly. Come on, let's go.